This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. The title of this rant is, Will You Vote to Save the Children? So a thing that just came up that we all knew about in terms of the caging of our brown sisters and brothers at the border is that this administration cannot find the parents of 545 children who they separated from their parents possibly some years ago, and they can't find them. So let's go just take a quick look at this, and it just shows how egregious this administration is when it comes to taking care of the most vulnerable and the most needy people in the world. So 545 children, not only can't find their parents, they can't even find about 200 of the actual children. Now, the administration didn't do this on their own. No, they basically gave that information to some lawyers who had to work on it and try and find all this stuff. So there's no work on the part of the government in terms of trying to find and reunite children with their parents who they separated because of their policies strictly to inflict as much pain and suffering as possible. And there's so many policies in terms of our southern border, it's tough to keep up with. But it was either in this meeting or another meeting, Stephen Miller, the white supremacist, basically sat around with some of these people in the cabinet people who were selected by Trump. So none of them were elected officials. Most of them, including Stephen Miller, would never even get close to any administration, Democrat or Republican administration, because of their views and also because of their competence. They are not competent people. But here it was, a 31, 32-year-old man getting the cabinet officials to raise their hands to vote to separate children from their parents, and that to be basically the U.S. policy. And of course, now we see the devastation of all of that. And of course, it's always interesting to think, how would you feel? How would I feel if something like that were to happen to me? Or if it would happen to someone that I know. Or let's just say, if our southern border, let's just say, was similar to Canada, and there were white people at our southern border trying to get into the United States, would we also act in the same way? Now, the thing that is that this is very egregious. We've known about it for years. It just recently came up again. But that is kind of like the chaos of this administration, is that there are so many outlandish, terrible, vile, destructive policies. And of course, when I say, will you vote to save the children, it's not only these children on the southern border. We need to greatly enhance our education process for all children in America. We need to, let's just say, increase the protections in the United States for clean water, clean air, clean soil for our children. And of course, that is for all children. And again, the thing of it is, would we be is this a reason to vote? And I ask my sisters and brothers on the conservative side, if these were white children, would you be much more upset about this? Because all I can say is I know that my friends on the progressive side, they're still aghast about this. But this is a serious reason why we need to get rid of this guy and every other person in this administration. They are buffoons. They are incompetent. They are incapable of making moral decisions. And we need to get rid of them in these 12 days.